There's 6 dimensions of sharing, especially in terms of sustainability and marketing. Now, when you look at this slide, you see these are the different ways we share dialogue, experiences, our values. We think about products, our stories. But you have to remember when you're talking about sustainability and marketing, you're coming across a little differently than any other type of marketing because you're going to run up against people's preconceived notions and their various biases that they bring from an ethnicity standpoint, economic status standpoint, maybe geography, where they're located, their political views, and religious views. So it's not only about making sure your message is effectively marketed the way your other products and services are, but tailoring your message to connect it with your different customers and your stakeholders and what they care about. There are a number of statistics out there today that truly demonstrate the business case for sustainability, not only about the importance of it and how companies can make money, but the importance of marketing it effectively and understanding why companies need to be marketing and taking action on sustainability. And I'm going to talk about that in more depth right now. The amount of consumers who actually care about sustainability now has grown rapidly. As you see in this slide, 93% of consumers believe that companies must go beyond what's legally required of them. And 94%, believe that companies really need to be analyzing and evolving their business practices to make sure that they're making a more positive impact or at least reducing their negative impact on the planet. The way business has been done throughout this entire last 100 years has to change, and consumers are saying they realize that business needs to do this. You want to put some money or a percentage on your brand value here? Look at this slide where it says 92% of people want to do businesses with companies that share their beliefs and values. Now, this isn't some hippie thing. This is reality here. Think about it if you're listening to this or anybody who talks about it. You want to buy for companies you believe in, not from companies that you hate, companies that you think are slimy, companies that you don't believe in, companies wish you were gone. 92% of consumers want to buy their products and services from companies they believe in and share their values. This is why marketing matters, because 80% of Americans are likely to switch brands if the product's price, quality, or performance is the same. They want to switch to one that they support the social and environmental cause that they believe in. So that's 4 out of 5 consumers will say, hey, look, if you have the exact same product or service as somebody else, I want to go where I believe. That is a huge business opportunity for your organization, and it's a huge risk if you don't have it. An even scarier statistic, if you're trying to make the business case internally within an organization, let's say your management says, we don't really need to market around sustainability. The reality is, when you look at this Harvest Media study, that 73% of consumers in the United States said they wouldn't care if a brand ceased to exist. Now think about that. You're like, that can't be true. But just think back to the financial crisis and all those banks that used to be there and how they're all gone. Consumers are pretty picky, but when it comes down to it, if everything is all similar, they want to stick with the ones that they believe in. And the public perception of it is that, most consumers, and this is not just the United States, this is globally, believe that companies today aren't working hard enough to solve social and environmental challenges that people care about. So let's talk about your message and how to communicate it effectively. What does your audience care about? I like to say in the slide, and I really bring it up because you don't change people's minds by hitting them over the head with facts. This is something the environmental movement or a lot of people on both the left and right, they believe, if people just smart enough and they just hear enough facts, that they're going to change their behavior and they're going to change their minds. But really, the reality is people don't change their minds by facts or figures or scientific data. If you look at this Greendex survey, you see the percentage of consumers who are, quote, green or sustainable. It changes depending on what the wording you're talking about. So there's a lot of people who are caring about global warming and climate change. But as you get really, and you start talking about human health, and you talk about impacts on society and on children, that's where people really care. So it's really not about hitting them over the head in your environmental message or your social justice message. It's finding out what your consumers care about and marketing towards them. One of the most effective companies in doing this has been Patagonia. Now, Patagonia's had an amazing brand for a long time. They've delivered incredibly high quality products. Granted, you have to pay a premium for them, but they tend to last. So one of their most ingenious marketing messages they put out there was, don't buy this jacket. Now, if you think about it, what immediately went into most people's heads? Wow, I like that jacket. I want to get one of those. But it was part of their Common Threads initiative where they're actually reaching out to consumers saying, buy only what you need. And by buying with Patagonia, our quality products last. They already have sustainability baked into them. So instead of going out at the holiday season and buying a whole bunch of new stuff, you don't need to do that. You buy one Patagonia jacket for a long time and you'll be happy with it. Now that's their message. And I'm not a Patagonia spokesman and I'm not going to, comment pro or con, but I'm telling you, this is a very effective marketing strategy. And when you're thinking about marketing for sustainability, keep these things in mind.